The recent BRICS 2024 summit concluded with several significant proposals, one of which stands out as particularly transformative: the suggestion to create a consolidated depository and clearing structure exclusively for BRICS countries. This bold initiative has the potential to reshape global trade by allowing member nations to operate outside of Western financial systems, such as the IMF and World Bank, and conduct exchanges within their own framework. This proposal gains even greater relevance in light of Donald Trump's recent return to the US presidency. During his previous tenure, Trump warned world leaders about the potential consequences of reducing reliance on the US dollar, including threats of severe penalties such as tariffs or economic reprisals, possibly as high as 100% on traded commodities, to prevent any attempt to bypass the dollar. For BRICS members, these developments highlight the urgent need to establish financial frameworks that offer greater fiscal sovereignty. The leaders of the alliance recognize the critical importance of shielding themselves from the influence exerted by the US, particularly in light of the dollar's global dominance. By creating an autonomous financial system, BRICS states would be able to mitigate their vulnerability to shifts in US monetary policy and to abrupt changes in American directives or embargoes. Such a system would also encourage trade and investment flows that are less susceptible to sudden disruptions from the US. In this video, we explore the innovative financial framework proposed by BRICS, analyzing its logic, potential impact on the US dollar, and its role in the evolving multipolar global order. To fully understand the forces driving this shift, it's important to examine the historical role of the US dollar as a tool for economic and diplomatic leverage, a practice often referred to as the weaponization of the dollar. This strategy exploits the dollar's global dominance to enforce sanctions and restrict access to international financial networks for targeted nations. The US dollar's status as the world's primary reserve currency emerged after World War I, but was solidified by the Bretton Woods Agreement of 1944. This agreement established a global monetary system where currencies were pegged to the US dollar, which was itself backed by gold at a fixed rate of $35 per ounce. Even after the US left the gold standard in 1971, the dollar retained its central position in global trade and investment, continuing to grant the US significant influence over international economic activity. Before World War II, the British pound sterling was the world's leading reserve currency. However, the war devastated European economies, leaving the US in a position of economic strength backed by vast gold reserves. The Bretton Woods Conference in 1944 aimed to stabilize the global monetary system, introducing fixed exchange rates and cementing the dollar as the backbone of global finance. By the late 1960s, rising inflation and growing imbalances within the US economy raised doubts about the country's ability to maintain the dollar's gold convertibility. This culminated in President Richard Nixon's 1971 decision to sever the dollar's link to gold, moving to a fiat currency system where the value of the dollar is determined by market forces. Despite this shift, the dollar has maintained its dominance in global finance, accounting for around 59% of global foreign exchange reserves as of 2023. The dominance of the US dollar in the global financial system provides the United States with several strategic advantages. Most notably, it allows the US to finance its deficits by issuing dollar-denominated bonds, which are in high demand worldwide. This demand stems from the dollar's status as the primary reserve currency, with nearly 58% of global foreign exchange reserves held in dollars as of the final quarter of 2022. This privileged status enables the US to borrow at lower interest rates compared to other nations, as foreign investors seek the reliability and liquidity of U.S. Treasury bonds. As a result, the U.S. is able to run larger trade deficits without immediate economic consequences. This phenomenon is often referred to as the exorbitant privilege. In addition, dollar supremacy grants the U.S. substantial influence over global economic affairs. Since many countries hold significant dollar reserves and conduct trade in dollars, U.S. monetary policies, such as adjustments to interest rates, can have far-reaching effects on global markets. For instance, a rise in U.S. interest rates can attract international capital, driving up the value of the dollar and affecting economies around the world. In summary, the BRICS proposal for an independent financial structure aims to reduce member nations' dependency on the US dollar, offering them more control over their economic destinies. As the US continues to leverage its currency for geopolitical and economic advantage, the BRICS initiative represents a significant step toward a more diversified and multipolar global financial system. The growing influence of the US dollar in global finance, combined with the dominance of the US in international trade and financial systems, enables the United States to implement economic sanctions with considerable effectiveness. By restricting access to US banking networks and limiting the use of the dollar, the US can impose substantial economic constraints on countries, groups, or individuals whose actions run counter to its geopolitical objectives or internationally accepted norms. This power is enhanced by American control over key global financial systems, such as the SWIFT network, which facilitates the monitoring and management of dollar-based transactions worldwide. The US strategically leverages the dollar's central role in global commerce to enforce economic sanctions. A notable example of this is the sanctions imposed on Iran, which have had a profound impact on its economy by preventing it from engaging in international trade and accessing foreign currency reserves. Through its control over financial networks, the US also exercises influence over vital international financial channels, like the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, SWIFT. By coordinating with allies, the US can exclude specific nations from SWIFT, effectively isolating them from the global financial community. This was the case with Russia following its actions in Ukraine, where such measures severely restricted its international monetary transactions. Additionally, the US can freeze dollar-denominated assets belonging to foreign governments, corporations, or individuals, cutting off their access to capital markets. After Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the US and its allies froze the assets of key Russian financial institutions, such as VTB Bank, which controls a significant portion of Russia's banking assets. These sanctions prevented these entities from accessing the US financial system and making dollar-based transactions, which critically undermined Russia's economic stability. In response to these measures, the BRICS alliance, comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, has increasingly sought to establish financial autonomy and reduce its dependence on Western-led financial institutions. This movement is driven by a combination of geopolitical, economic, and technological factors, all aimed at creating a more balanced and multipolar global monetary system. The imposition of Western sanctions on Russia, especially after its actions in Crimea and Ukraine, highlighted the vulnerability of nations that rely on Western financial channels. These sanctions, which included removing Russian banks from the SWIFT system and freezing Russian central bank assets, underscored the need for countries to develop independent financial infrastructures to safeguard their economic freedom. As a result, Russia has become a vocal advocate within BRICS for the creation of new financial instruments to shield against such external threats in the future. Criticism of the dollar's dominance in global trade and finance is not new, with BRICS members, particularly China and Russia, long expressing concerns over the dollar's pervasive influence. The dollar's central role allows the US to exercise significant control over global monetary transactions and impose far-reaching sanctions with profound consequences. Institutions such as the IMF and the World Bank, seen by many BRICS members as heavily influenced by Western interests, further fuel this dissatisfaction. To reduce their reliance on the US dollar, BRICS countries have explored alternatives, including China's cross-border interbank payment system, CIPS, which provides a decentralized option for international transactions. By using local currencies for trade within the BRICS bloc, the group aims to cut conversion costs, mitigate exposure to currency fluctuations, and avoid Western financial systems, making intra-BRICS trade more efficient and less dependent on external financial infrastructures. The growing shift toward a multipolar world order empowers BRICS to challenge Western-dominated frameworks and advocate for reform in global governance institutions such as the United Nations and the IMF. Establishing an independent monetary mechanism is a key component of BRICS's broader ambition to create a more balanced, multipolar global order, where the bloc can assert greater influence and reduce the dominance of Western financial policies. Technological advancements, particularly in blockchain and distributed ledger technology, DLT, offer BRICS new tools to build decentralized and secure financial systems for cross-border transactions. These innovations provide a way to bypass traditional systems like SWIFT, developing financial infrastructures that are more resilient to external manipulation or sanctions. The pursuit of financial independence aligns with BRICS's broader initiatives, such as China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, which seeks to strengthen political and economic ties among emerging economies. By promoting trade and financial cooperation across the global south, BRICS aims to foster stronger economic integration and reduce dependence on Western financial mechanisms, paving the way for a more equitable global economic system. South BRICS is working to enhance its collective global influence and reduce reliance on Western-dominated financial systems. Before we dive deeper, if you found this video interesting, we'd really appreciate it if you could hit the like button. It helps us reach a wider audience. Also, feel free to share your thoughts or feedback in the comments. It makes a big difference. Thank you for watching. Now, let's continue. At the 16th BRICS Summit in October 2024, held in Kazan, Russia, Russia put forward the idea of a unified clearing system called BRICS Clear. This new framework aims to simplify financial transactions among Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa without depending on Western platforms like Euroclear. The BRICS Clear proposal seeks to streamline securities trading within the group, promoting greater financial autonomy and enhancing resilience against external economic pressures. Essentially, BRICS Clear would establish a centralized repository and settlement facility designed for cross-border trading of local securities, allowing for smoother exchanges between member states. By reducing dependence on Western financial intermediaries, the initiative aims to mitigate vulnerabilities associated with potential sanctions or restrictions imposed by Western powers. A key component of BRICS Clear's design is the incorporation of distributed ledger technology, DLT, commonly known as blockchain. DLT is a decentralized approach to managing records across multiple systems, eliminating the need for a central authority. Each node on the network keeps a synchronized copy of the ledger, ensuring that all updates are consistent and transparent. The technology relies on consensus protocols to verify and validate transactions before they are added to the ledger. Blockchain is the most widely known form of DLT, organizing data into immutable blocks linked in a chain. Other forms, such as directed acyclic graphs, DAGs, offer more flexible data structures that may increase scalability and speed. The main benefits of DLT include heightened security, as its distributed nature eliminates single points of failure and makes data tampering more difficult. DLT also ensures transparency, with all participants having access to the same information, building trust among stakeholders. Additionally, DLT networks are resilient. Even if some nodes are compromised or fail, the network as a whole remains operational. These advantages make DLT a critical element in BRICS' efforts to create independent financial systems that are less reliant on Western infrastructure. The use of DLT in BRICS initiatives spans various areas, including cryptocurrencies, smart contracts, and cross-border payments. For example, the proposed BRICS Clear platform aims to facilitate intra-block transfers using DLT, offering a secure and transparent alternative to Western clearing services like Euroclear. Similarly, BRICS Pay, another initiative, envisions a blockchain-based payment solution for handling transactions in national currencies within the BRICS network, further reducing reliance on Western financial intermediaries. By incorporating DLT into their financial ecosystems, BRICS countries aim to improve the efficiency, security, and independence of their economic activities. This aligns with their broader goal of establishing a multipolar global financial system. Looking ahead, BRICS central banks are set to continue discussions in December as they work on the technical and regulatory aspects of implementing this new financial framework. While there are significant challenges, ranging from legal hurdles to technical infrastructure, the partial rollout of BRICS Clear could potentially boost intra-BRICS trade by 5 to 7%. The success of this initiative will depend on the final design of the system and the readiness of member countries to implement it. But if fully realized, this effort could be a game changer in reshaping global financial dynamics.